Alright, so now we move on to Judge Dredd. I am the law. And, so this is one I'd never seen before, but I, of course, saw the Nostalgia Critics review for it, and I know about this movie. It was one of Stallone's... It's known to be one of Stallone's worst films. After watching this, I can say I don't think it's terrible. It's not a fantastic film by any means, but I enjoyed it just fine. So yeah, this is set in the future where all police are judges. They judge you right then and there on the crime scene. The biggest one among them is Judge Dredd. You also have Judge Hersey and another one. That judge dies, and so he goes in there and he takes them out. I like his gun. He can shoot. He can just set what to whatever by going rapid fire. Armor piercing. Double whammy. That'd be cool to have a gun like that. I don't have any guns. I don't know if I've ever used a gun, but I'm just saying. Like in a video game, have a gun like that. That would be cool. One big criticism people seem to have is that Dredd takes his helmet off, where I don't think he did that in the comics. It's Sylvester Stallone. They're not going to have him have his helmet on. I've seen half of the Carl Urban version, meaning that I fell asleep halfway through because I tried to watch it at 10 o'clock at night, and I fell asleep. And I loaned it to a friend of mine, and I decided eventually, I kept asking for it back, and then eventually I'm like, you know what, I really don't care if I have that back. I don't care at all. So, I've seen half of the 2013 Carl Urban version, and I've seen this one. And, they explained exposition, so when it happens later in the film, you will get it. They explained that when a judge retires, he takes the long walk into the wasteland that is what's left of the earth. That's a good setup later. There's this man named Rico, and he frames Judge Dredd for the murders. And so I knew going into this they were brothers, right? And then you have to have the exact same DNA, and I'm like, well, even if you're brothers, you don't have the exact same DNA. Like my brother and I, we don't have the exact same DNA. It's not how it works. Well, then I watched the rest of the movie, and they informed me about the Janus Project, where he and Rico were both created. Now, he mentions earlier in the film to Judge Hersey, Judge Dredd does, about how he had to judge a former colleague. That was Rico, right? Did I get that correctly? If you know Constable, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. It was Rico he had to judge. He was put away, but now he's free again, and he kills this British guy for some reason and blames Dredd for it. And now Dredd has been framed, but Judge Fargo. Oh yeah, the Judge Fargo there. He says, that there Judge Dredd there, he ain't a bad guy there. He didn't do it, no. So I'm gonna go for the long walk there, and I'm just gonna walk away, and and then you go lenient on him there, and then I'll just go for the walk, and So he at the council of another judge who is secretly working for Rico, he agrees to go for the long walk, which means he gets shunned and goes into the wasteland to walk, and instead of death, which is the penalty he was going to get, Judge Dredd just gets sentenced to life in prison. Then he escapes with Fergie, played by Rob Schneider, and why? Why Rob Schneider in this movie? Why? There's a scene where they gotta sneak in. I feel like all the scenes where Judge Dredd was sneaking in to the place would have been better without Rob Schneider commenting on everything. Like, he's like, okay, he's like, okay, we gotta go through this aspect. I'm not gonna go through there. I'm gonna go through there. I'm gonna get burned. We don't know if it's gonna work. So then they go in, and we saw that the fire was blasting out, right? They go in, the fire starts blasting in. How does that work? They go through, and then Dredd knocks out another judge who's gonna take his uniform to sneak around. Why are you taking off his clothes? We don't have time for this. But it's called being incognito, you dumbass. He's gotta fit in. And yes, I think you're supposed to be sympathetic towards him because he just got out of prison and he wants to be a good citizen. And because he hid in a garbage can, he was unfairly sent back to prison for 5 years, even though hiding in a garbage can shouldn't be anything worth going to prison for, but futuristic law. And yeah, I forgot to mention when he was out there, he goes out to the wasteland and he meets up with Judge Fargo, who dies almost immediately, but tells him about the Janus Project and that he and Rico are technically brothers. He does say you judged him, so I'm thinking that's the same person he was telling Hershey about. And the Janus Project, Rico is trying to make clones, I think, is what I got from this. And Judge Hershey and this other guy are trying to, still trying to look for evidence, even though it's been dismissed already. And yeah, but I don't know. He gets in there, you have a fight, of course, and, they have an argument, like, you disobeyed the law. Like, they say law so weird, like, just, they are both hamming up to the camera. They're mugging for the camera, I should say. And it's kind of fun. Rob Schneider gets shot to death, but somehow doesn't die and helps repair something. And I think it's that robot thing. I don't know. But yeah. And they save the day. And Rico is killed. And they want Dredd to become the Supreme Court Justice. What Fargo was. They also kill the other guy. I think that Rico kills the judge that helped him, but yeah, yeah, I like the cinematography for this. I like the way the wasteland looks and the way the city looks are done very well. Some of the outfits and the clothes and just the way this whole world looks. I got a sense that if they continued, they could build off this world. Show it, like a sequel, show us more of the wasteland than what we saw, that sort of thing. It could have built on more, but would I want a sequel to this movie? Yes. In fact, I wouldn't mind Stallone coming back to do the sequel now. I know he's in his 70s, but he could be the Supreme Court judge now and have a younger judge, the character that could be his son, he and Hershey's son. By the way, Diane Lane in this, gorgeous. She's a very beautiful woman, Diane Lane. And they may be saying, well, she's a very plain-looking woman, but yeah, you don't need all the bells and whistles to be gorgeous. You don't need a fat ass or, a big ass, ginormous breasts and fat lips to be a gorgeous-looking woman. And, if I say, what kind of, if someone asked me, hey, what actress that's not all makeup and plastic surgery would you want to, have a free pass with? Diane Lane. Even now, I know she's like 60, but Diane Lane. You've seen her in The Outsiders, man? She's gorgeous. And she doesn't need all that. Sure, she has makeup on. But she doesn't need all that stuff. She looks fine the way she is, you know? That's the problem nowadays. Is every woman thinks when they get older, oh, I'm going to get wrinkly, so I have to get plastic surgery. And then get the plastic surgery, and they look worse than they did before they got the plastic surgery. I.e. Anna Faris. I.e. Courtney Cox. I.e. Jennifer Aniston. Although, I think her face has reduced. She looks better now. But sometimes she just... But, yeah, ladies, you don't need plastic surgery to look gorgeous. Alright? You're gonna get older. Just deal with it. Okay? I'm just saying. And Diane Lane is a great example of that. She has not no plastic surgery, so as far as I know. And she's in her 60s, and I think she's still a gorgeous woman. Alright? I mean, she was married to Thanos for a long time, so, you know, something was right. But yeah, this movie was fine. It was nothing spectacular, but it's a movie where I can sit and I can watch and I can enjoy the goofiness. Even Rob Schneider, who I don't hate. I mean, the Deuce Bigelow movies are the two that I enjoy the most, but really just the first one. Second one's okay. Didn't really care for the animal, but I like him in the Adam Sandler movies. You can do it! You know, he's fun. Here, he is sort of in the way. I think, like I said, Judge Dredd getting back into the city would have been better without his commentary every 5 seconds. Just complaining about everything that Dredd is trying to do. You know? But, you know what? I'm going to say this movie's the middle of the road. Because it's not pretty good. And it's not a, you know, don't waste your time or whatever. I think it's the middle of the road. It's fine for what it is, and would I want to watch it again? Maybe. It's on Tubi, so if you want to watch it, go ahead. But, yeah. So with that in mind, what are your thoughts on Judge Dredd? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. I gotta do it. La 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 la